What is up, everybody? It's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe Show, the home of Epic Conversations. I'm the host of Epic Conversations, two-time Canadian Ethnic Media Association award winner. 2020, I received it for Best Podcasts News Show, and 2018, I won the Innovation Award. Also, once a month, I host the only online broadcast in the world for dads and fathers that is sponsored by Dove Men Care, and it's also co-sponsored by Dad Central, Canada's national fatherhood organization. And also once a month, I've got, well, not even once a month. I keep on saying once a month, but I'm doing it constantly. I'm the board chair for an organization called the Global Food and Drink Initiative. It's a multimedia not-for-profit or nonprofit that's based in the US, but I'm here in Canada. And their goal and their mission is to feature Blacks of the diaspora who are involved in food, wine, and travel. And we always say here, you're blessed, highly favored, a magnet for miracles, and a solution for someone's problem. Fired up because another new friend we're going to introduce you to tonight. And you know, Dr. Vibe likes to have new friends on the platform. So let me give you a little background of our new friend. Joe Delagrave captivates his audiences by using his heart-gripping life experiences. And you're going to hear about some of them tonight, so don't you leave. His humor, storytelling, and background as a professional counselor to be relatable, authentic, and real. He believes that we all have the responsibility to take control of our own lives despite our circumstances, and that we get a choice to play the victim card or find out our victim mindset. And he's very strong on this. So please make sure you stay for this whole conversation, whether it's live or replay. He has over 13 years experience on the National Wheelchair Rugby Team. He's a Paralympic bronze medalist. So we got an Olympian here, folks, Olympian, big time. And as a captain for over 8 years, he has proven leadership as the team has been podium contenders each year. With that athletic mentality, Joe captivates and transforms people to find out that competitive fire within themselves, no matter the obstacle. Life threw Joe a curveball, but he put faith in God and used his wheelchair above as an opportunity within his own circumstances. He works with leaders and organizations to develop plays and action plans for success as we all strive to get that goal. And I had the honor and pleasure of meeting Joe through the Clubhouse app. So you're hearing me say that every once in a while. Yeah. And he has worked with incredible organizations like Organic Valley, Red Bull, New York. You know what? Go to his website and you'll go see it. And if you're watching this live on the replay, you'll get the website address. But website address is joedelagrave.com. Why am I keeping him off? I got to bring him on. Joe. What is going on?
Hey, Dr. Vibe, what's happening, man?
Everything is happening, man. Everything's happening. Everything's happening because you're here.
Well, hey, I appreciate the introduction. That was phenomenal. And just appreciate the grace and love you're showing me of bringing me on. So thank you, brother.
From the first time I heard you, not seeing you, I heard you, and I heard your heart, and I heard your story, and I heard some of the history of your family that you gave me. It was automatic. It had to happen. One thing I did live out in his bio: incredible father, incredible husband, on top of everything else. So I just want to say I'm very blessed to have you on the platform tonight. Looking forward to hearing some of your story, because I know that it's impacted me, but it's going to impact other people that you and I don't even know. So like we always do on the Dr. Vibe Show, when you have a friend for the first time, let's throw it back to the young Joe. I like where he got all that pretty hair from. You know, let's go back. Let's go back to
Make sure I did my hair up for you, man.
I did mine too. I made sure I did a fresh shave. You see the shine? Yeah.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's go back. Young Joe. Tell us about the young Joe. Where he grew up, all that kind of stuff.
All right. So I grew up, man, in the Caribbean island of Wisconsin. It is cold there. It was, yeah. I mean,
good curveball there.
Yeah. They're like, wait, what? Yeah. I grew up in Wisconsin, Southwest Wisconsin, and was born and raised in by the Mississippi River. Spent 7th grade all the way through high school in Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, which is a small river town of about 5,000 people, on the border of Iowa. And so growing up, man, I loved sports, everything. Basketball, football, baseball, swimming. I did plays in musicals because I thought, man, I'm gonna be Zac Efron someday, but apparently he has better abs and stuff like that. But I just loved being a part of a team. I loved being a part of something that was bigger than myself and figuring out where do I fit in the puzzle. And so like that was childhood, and one of my biggest dreams was to play a sport in college, go to college, play a sport in college. So that was childhood for me. That was me.
I'm not going to let you get away with that so easily. So you loved your sports. Were your parents supportive of you being involved in sports? Because sports has been your life.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot growing up but I always had cleats.
Mm-hmm.
Always had gloves.
Mm-hmm.
I would lose the glove, and then my mom would buy me another glove. And so like it always had the sports stuff. My mom loved that we played sports and were competitive. And I think she realized it was something that was good for me to be able to figure out life lessons and learning that. And so I think, that was a big deal. So I had very supportive, my mom, and then my stepdad, who I called dad, was in the house. And so they were very supportive of athletics.
Especially your mother. What things did she instill in you when you were young that you still carry on with today?
Yes. So my mom, first of all, she instilled that the best protein you can get on the planet is ice cream.
Is that true? I didn't know ice cream had protein.
No,
all right.
No, it is not true. She lied to me. My mom's a liar. She lied to me all the way through. And I'm like, I'm eating. I'm like, well, Mom, I'm getting athlete. Nope. That wasn't a thing. But no, what she instilled in us, she had a love for God. And she always, I remember, and whatever, no judgment here, but for me, she instilled in me the importance of reading the Bible. She would read to me at night. Me and my other siblings, almost every night, she would read the Bible to us. And I thought, wow, because looking back, this lady had not a lot of money, not a lot of materialistic wealth, but what she realized is, you know what, like, I'm going to raise my kids a certain way, and I'm going to be dedicated to doing that. I'm going to be dedicated to instilling in them faith and reading them the Bible. And I thought that was just such a beautiful thing to do, that I carry with me today. I think it's just an amazing thing where a parent says, I'm going to love my kids, and I might not have it all together. I might not have the best of everything, but what I do have and what I think is important, I'm going to pass it on. I don't care what other people say. I'm just going to pass this on. And so that was something that was really, I didn't realize how important it was. When you're 5 years old, 10 years old, especially when you're a teenager, and you're like, Mom, come on now. Like there's times when you're sad or you're mad or whatever it is, and it's like, Mom, I don't want it. Like, come on, just let me go to bed, type of thing. And just the dedication and the discipline to do that, because she thought it was the right thing to do, and then that you don't realize it. And then as a parent, I'm going like, man, this woman, that was a beautiful thing right there.
Yeah. Is your mother still alive?
She is. Yep, she is.
Can I ask a favor?
Yeah.
Can you tell her she'll probably never know or never see this bald face or head, but tell her she done good.
Yeah, I will. Yeah.
She done like just that alone. Like, how many parents still do that today?
Yeah.
Like that sort of attention and caring. before you went to bed. That's like a blessing on you
Mm-hmm.
before you went to sleep every night.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, don't she ain't gonna help me with my math homework though. So it's like if I went home with an algebra question, it'd be like Jesus is the answer. I'm like, Mom, that I'm gonna get an F if I put that. Like that, you can't you know, that doesn't work with my math teacher.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. Folks, did I tell you he's good? Did I tell you he's good? That's good stuff. So, how was high school, college? How was that experience for you?
Yeah, high school was a great time, and playing sports. I was good on the basketball court, good on the football field, and I did the plays and musicals as well. I was pirate.
Wow.
Dude. Here's the deal, man. Like I was pirate number. I think I was pirate number 7 for Pirates of Penzance. So like that's a big deal. Pirate number 7's a big. Like I should put that on my website. You know,
Yes.
remove Red Bull and
Yes.
put on Pirates.
No,
Pirate
I
number
don't.
7.
I don't think Red Bull would
Sign me up for
appreciate.
Broadway. Let's go. Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. But no, high school was great. But the big goal was I wanted to get a scholarship.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to school. And so I realized I got to put some work in. I got to be able to work towards that. And I ended up becoming a college athlete at the Division II level, a school in Minnesota called the Winona State Warriors.
Mhm.
And it was a really neat deal. And we'll get into some of the story later, but that freshman year was a magical time for me. I got to play as a true freshman, worked hard during training camp and got to play as a true freshman, right at red shirt. And the whole year was just amazing getting to know the guys in the team and being a part of the team. It was a very successful year for the Warriors, one of their most successful years that they've ever had. And so it was just a really neat deal to be a part of.
Was it difficult going to school away from home?
I went to school. It was different. It was different because all of a sudden everything that your parents want you to be or what you're supposed to be, you have to decide if you're doing that yourself.
Right.
One of the things for me is and I always love to be real. I like to be funny, but I also like to be real. And so my faith kind of trickled away during that freshman year because I was like, I want the affirmation from my coaches, from my teammates. I want to make sure I'm a good football player, and I don't have time for anything else. And so I think it wasn't hard per se, but it was a tough lesson on it's your life. It's like no one there to kind of some of those boundaries that you have growing up are taken out and going, do you have that self-discipline? Do you have other boundaries that you can start putting in place? And so it was a good learning lesson there.
What you said that first year was really special. Do you remember a special moment that you could just share with us from that first year? Anything of significance you would remember?
Yeah. So my first practice in football, I was a tight end, and I'm like, I'm gonna make my mark. First practice, we're doing 7-on-7 drills, which is basically you get the offensive, defensive linemen out of the way so the athletes can. I'm just kidding. There's gonna but no, we're playing the 7-on-7 deal, and I'm lined up, and the tight ends were in a line. They kind of pushed me to the front. I was a new guy. I'm kind of like, oh, they want to see what I got. I'm like, I got it. We're good. Yeah, I'm gonna step up. We're doing like 5-yard in routes, 5 yards down the field, take a right, catch the ball, done. And we're going against linebackers. And I had no idea that across the street from me there on defense was a 5th-year All-American, 2-time All-American dude. He had the long flowing hair. He had the drool coming. Linebackers are crazy, man. So like, and I'm like, I looked over, I go, okay, this guy's no joke right here. But I'm like, all right, 5-yard in route, I'll be good to go. So I did 5 yards, I cut in, I catch the ball. And for a split second, I'm thinking, oh, man, I made my mark. Yeah. He waited for me to catch the ball, came, decleated me. I fell flat on my head, laying there. And the Tweety birds are around my head.
Oh my goodness.
And the offensive guys are going, get up, get up, get up. And the defensive guys are just cracking up, laughing at me. And so I got up, man, and I ran to the huddle. And fifth-year All-American linebacker goes, hey, man, you're in the wrong huddle. Man, he messed me up so good.
My God.
He messed me up so good. He went.
Oh my goodness.
I went straight to the defense.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So that's what made that year special. No, that was my first impression. So it's like first impression is a big deal. It is, but with that, I worked hard from there and was able to play. But just remember being on the sidelines. I played as that was a third string tight end, so I played a little bit in double tight end packages and kickoff and that type of special teams. But just remember being a part of something, no matter what. If I was a starter or a captain or what, I was a third string tight end, but I just remember, man, this is amazing. Like being a part of a team, trying to figure out where you fit into the puzzle, and working hard for something that's bigger than yourself. So that was kind of the beauty of that year.
Nice. Well, I don't want to talk about it, but I think we need to talk about it. In your bio, it says life threw you a curveball.
Yeah. So, man, 19 years old. I just finished my freshman year of college, in between my freshman and sophomore year, and it's going great. I'm back in Prairie du Chien on the Rivertown, Wisconsin, where I grew up, and working for the city, which was a great job. I worked for the Park and Recs department, so like I didn't really have to do a whole lot. I just drove a truck around and made fun of my best friend Kyle, who worked for the city too, but he got the weed whacking job. So I just drive around, make fun of him, go through Hardee's. The city, the Recs department director's like, dude, you can't go through Hardee's anymore. Like we're on to you, bro. The city truck can't be going through Hardee's 4 times a day type of deal. But it was a great summer. And every weekend we'd go out on the river. And in a river town, that's what you do. You go on the river and fish and kneeboard and ski and hang out and go on the sandbars and chill and whatever it is. And so this July 10th, 2004 day was like no other. I mean, it's the same summer day, 75 degrees, partly cloudy. I'm chilling with my hands behind my head, and it's a great day until we're in a back slough, and Kyle, my buddy Kyle and Adam, who we grew up in the same street together, Ohio Street and Prairie du Chien, Adam's kneeboarding, Kyle's driving. He accidentally hits the bottom of the river in a back slough because you never know how deep or shallow the water is. I fly backwards, hit my head, snap my neck at the C6 and 7 level, 6 and 7 vertebrae down from the base of your skull. And in a split second, I go from 6'6", 260 pounds, a tight end and playing college football, to can't move my legs, can't feel my legs, don't know what's going on. Identity ripped away, and going, what am I supposed to do with this? Where like the questions that you have at that age already, and then you add in this life-altering accident where I'm physically not able to move. I feel trapped in this hospital bed where I'm just praying and believe, like, just wiggle a toe. Doctors can't be right that I'm not going to walk again. Just where's my purpose going to be? Where's my passion going to be? Where, like, am I going to be able to find a job? Like, am I going to be able to find, can I have kids? Is this girl that I'm with going to stay with me?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going like, what's going to happen? And I remember during that time thinking, this can't be permanent. This can't be permanent. No, this isn't permanent. This Like maybe this is a little bump in the road. This can't be permanent. I'll be back playing football in a month. There's no way. So you go through that denial, going, I'll be okay. I'm a man. I'm a big rough tough football player. I can will myself through this. If there's a will, there's a way. I'm going to work hard and get through this.
Yep.
And the days start turning into weeks. Nothing happens. I'm working hard, and they're trying to get me into physical therapy and occupational therapy and doing all this stuff, but my legs aren't moving. And I remember thinking, as a man of faith, this verse that was given to me about a week before my accident on the Don Beebe House of Speed shirt, randomly, because I got it from my kicker on our football team. And I always joke, like, man, he's not even a football player. He's giving me the shirt because I forgot my shirt underneath my pad. But this verse was Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your understanding, in all your ways acknowledge him, and he'll direct your paths. And I'm going like, no, I'm good. I'm not gonna trust in you. Like, I'm laying in a hospital bed and I can't move. Like, I don't know about that verse. I don't know about this faith that, man, like, this is, God, that I've worked this hard for this. That my passion is sports. My passion is being able to play on these teams. And this was my goal, my dream. And now it's gone. And you want me to trust in you.
Wow. I know it's not easy to share, and I'm sure you're asked to share it over and over again, but I'm thankful and blessed that you've shared it again. During that, especially the initial time, what kept you going?
Yeah, I think, and I'm no different. I think a lot of times people say, "Oh, you're self-made. You're self-made. I'm a self-made. I did it. I worked hard." And that can be true. Like, there could be hard work in it, and a lot of people say, "Joe, you're so strong and you're so inspirational." And everyone that is strong or inspirational or has had success has people in their lives that are building them up and then pulling them back when they need it. For me, that was my girlfriend at the time, who's my wife now, April. It was my friends at Winona that were calling me every day and visiting me every day, my football teammates that were visiting me, a coach, the head coach visiting me every day, my position coach, literally calling me at least once a month to this day, still doing it. Relationships with people, Kyle and Adam, and our community in Prairie du Chien, and it just my parents, April's parents, people around me saying, "You got this. It's gonna be okay. We're here for you." It's that kindness and love factor that when you show it, you don't even know you're planting seeds. You're just a seed spreader, just throwing out love and kindness, and you never know how it affects someone. And for me, that's what kept me going right away when it was dark. And then each day I'd start waking up and going, trust in the Lord. No, I'm good. No, I can't wiggle a toe yet. So that's not going to work. But people in my life going, you know what? Maybe get in that chair and go to therapy. Maybe, figure this thing out. And you start to go, okay, maybe I don't know why I'm in this chair. I don't know what my purpose is in this chair. I don't know why I have to go through this, but maybe I should just stop doing the Joe thing and the charade's over, where I'm this big, rough, tough guy that can work my way through it and go, I need to rely on my God, and I need to rely on some people around me to help me through this situation. Talk to them about it. Realize that I don't know what kind of plan he has, but I got to trust in it, because what's the other side? I can play the victim card. I can play the blame game. I can blame Kyle. I can blame the boat. I can blame the river. I can blame, me being out there. I can, this isn't my fault. This isn't the cards that I wanted to play. So, like, let's just fold them and be done. Or I can go, I have a choice. I can I can lay in this bed and stare at my toe, or I can get in this wheelchair and start doing therapy, and get in this wheelchair and start learning how to put my socks on, and my shirt on, my shoes, and my pants.
How, in the initial part of this part of your journey, how did your parents handle it, especially your mother initially?
A lot of us, obviously, I think and I didn't realize how hard it was for parents to go through something like that until I became a parent. I just don't think you know, and how much I love my kids. I would be so devastated if something like this happened to them. So in some regards, it's easier for me to go through it than maybe my mom or dad, and siblings even, and friends and whatnot. But I think we all just believed that life's got to go on, that we can make a choice, like get in the chair, try to find an opportunity. Not really sure why this is happening, but at the same time, still praying for healing as well. Going like, man, you read all these miraculous stories. Oh, maybe that's me. Maybe that'll be me. Maybe I'll get out of this chair. Maybe if I pray enough, if my works are good enough, my deeds are good enough, maybe I'll get. And that's kind of like the mindset I had at times, going, I don't see a way forward in this chair forever. Maybe 5 years, 10 years. Like, oh man, if I can walk again, like that would be a good story. That's because I knew I was going to be a speaker. I knew that I was going to be a speaker someday. That'll be a good story to tell. Not the story where I stay in the chair, the story where I get out of it. And as it keeps going down farther and farther, weeks into months started to turn into years, and I'm in this chair still, and I've still got to make that choice every day, staring at the chair on the side of my bed. Am I going to get in it?
Mm.
I think sometimes we look for the miracle on the outside of what's going on, and we don't see the miracle on the inside. We don't see the miracle right before us.
Talk to me, Joe. Talk it, Joe. Talk it. Bring it.
It's me just praying and hoping that, man, I just gotta walk. I gotta walk. But I realize I got a chair here that's gonna be a chariot for my victory in life. You know what I'm saying? And like that's where a lot of times we're looking at a circumstance or an obstacle as a problem, when really it's a solution. It's an opportunity to be a solution. You just got to make the choice whether or not you're going to get in it.
Mm. Your girlfriend at the time, who now is your wife, share with our community how supportive she was during that time.
Yeah, this whole any success that I have had or will have or whatnot, she is. I'm Robin. She's Batman. Like she's the one.
I've never heard a lady be called Bat. Okay, okay,
that woman, good. Whatever.
Okay, bad girl.
She is as much of the success as I am, because she's been so monumental in my life, being able to build me up when I need it, bring me back down when I need it. And I think for me, I think it was so important, where she wasn't going to let me, she's going to call me out on my BS. She like, hey, you gonna mess up again, I'm going to pop a wheel off that chair and leave you there type of thing. Like she's not playing around. You know what I'm saying? That's a cry for help, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. But no, she has been absolutely amazing, where I'm like, right away, I'm like, I want to walk again. She's like, all right, how are we going to do it? Let's figure it out. And it didn't happen, but she's like, hey, we tried our best. And then it's like, hey, I want to be the wheelchair rugby thing looks really cool. I want to be a Paralympian. Okay. Well, you're going to have to start eating better. You know, start losing some weight. Like people that truly love you aren't afraid to say, hey man, you gotta where like your goals are over here and your actions are over here and they're not aligning. And that's and she's been that for me. Yeah.
conversation piece. When did you know that she was the one? And can you share with us when you proposed to her?
Yeah. So I did what every smart man should do. I broke up with her.
Oh, God.
I broke up. Yeah, I broke up with her. I was so scared by the amount of love that she was showing me.
Oh, okay.
One of my friends from Winona, we dated a little bit, and who was one of my best friends and at school that year, and she was great as well during the process. But I think part of it too is just, I don't know if I love her this much, April, as much as she's showing me. I don't know if I can reciprocate that. I think, and then the other part of it, the identity piece is like, can I get a girl in a wheelchair type of thing? You know what I mean? Like, can I go out and catch me a fish type of thing? And so breaking up with her, realize, what am I doing? This is like a God-given gift for me, where we have just, she just gets me. And she's, the yin to my yang.
Mm-hmm.
I call her the silent assassin. I'm loud and outgoing and extroverted, and she's introverted, but she is not afraid to like put in the zingers when she gets to know you type of thing. And
Mm-hmm.
I remember going like, no, like I need this girl back. I need this girl back, and pursued her, and realized we were 20 years old. And I realized,
Wow.
like after that accident, I'm going like, there's no need to wait. So when I was 18 and we first started dating,
Mm-hmm.
I was so shy that we were writing messages to each other on her little whiteboard with butterflies on it in her room. Man, I know.
No, this is beautiful. I'm loving this. Is beautiful.
And so what I did is we were going down to see my sister in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where she was going to school. And I stole that from her house, and that little butterfly thing that we had first started talking to each other, and wrote on there, "Will you marry me?" and pack that up in a present. I'm like, I'm just giving my sister a present, and when we go down there, I thought that would be nice, and then ended up surprising her at a park there, and had that present there, and asked her to open it, and she started crying, and I'm like, is that a good cry or a bad cry? Where are we at here? Should I just go dump myself in this lake again? So she said yes, and we got married when we were 22. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's marriage is work, and it's a beautiful thing, and we've grown up together, really grown, through our 20s, into our 30s now, and it's been a beautiful ride. Almost 14 years of marriage, and
congratulations.
Yeah, appreciate that.
Thank you for sharing that victory story.
Yeah.
You have so many. The decision to do wheelchair rugby, man.
Woo.
Yeah, that's what I was. I didn't want to say that. I'm glad you did the sound effect on that.
Yeah,
like where did that come from, man?
Wheelchair rugby. So after getting out of the hospital, some people were like, you need to play some adaptive sports. And I'm like, you can go take a hike. Adaptive sports.
Well, I don't think you said that. You probably said something else, but we'll leave it off camera. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Some fresh language. So I was like, no, like, I don't, those, like, I'm a keeper. That's pathetic. I don't want no hug, or I don't like, no, I don't want that. And I pushed that away. And then I ate a lot of food. I got really big, but I had a person in my life, again, that he said, hey man, like, you're getting, I mean, he was loving about it, but he's basically like, Joe, you're fat, and you're not going to be able to push your chair around the block if you're going to be this big in a wheelchair. And so we went and got weighed, and I weighed 283 pounds on this hospital bed. And I got
How much?
283 pounds. And I said, your bed's broken. That scale's not right. There's no way. So I got back into my chair. I had them zero it out or get me a different bed. I'm not sure. I did not have a snack in between, but the next bed said 284 pounds. And I'm like, I get your point. I need to go work out. Yeah. And it was one of those things again, people in my life speaking into me saying, this is, you need to do, those guardrails where it's so important for us to have brothers and sisters that will come alongside us and speak into our lives. And hopefully I get to do the same. And I have done the same with people in my life, but I think it's just such a beautiful thing. Ended up looking up wheelchair sports. At no point in any talk that I'll ever give on this planet will I say, you know what, I love a nice good run. No, I don't like running. That's just silly. I love playing sports. I don't love running at all. And so I'm like, I'm not going to do any wheelchair racing. And then there was like wheelchair basketball, and most people, oh, you're in a wheelchair, play wheelchair basketball. I looked that up, but I didn't have enough function physically to play it.
Right.
Then I went on the next sport and found a sport that was specifically for people with my disabilities that could play. And it was called wheelchair rugby. It used to be called murder ball. And there's this murder ball video, and I click on it. And Dr. Vibe, there's a bunch of people rolling around, chasing each other around, making each other more crippled. And I'm like, these people are nuts. Sign me up. Sign me up, man. I want to do that.
Yes.
I couldn't push around the block at that point, but I was like, I'm going to go to practice. I'm going to go to a practice in Minneapolis, Minnesota, at a place called Courage Center. And I go to a practice. I'm thinking I was going to watch. The guys go, you're going to get in a chair. And I'm like, I can barely get out of bed right now, type of thing. Like, but I ended up 45 minutes later, April's helping me. I had this, I mean, we were like the commercial for how disabled you look. I had the sliding board. We sprinkled baby powder on the slide so I could slide easier. The whole thing. Exactly. You can, I mean, it was not good. 45 minutes later, I'm finally in this chair. I'm pushing around the court. I start getting a little warm. My lungs start filling up with some air. I get my heavy breathing going. 30 minutes in, man, I realized, man, I'm an athlete again.
Wow.
I'm an athlete again.
Wow. You're never going to forget that moment, are you?
I was horrible. Balls are flying all over the place. It's like this. I don't think I was going to get, like, they're probably not going to ask me back, but I was having the time of my life. I remember driving home with April after, and I'm going like, when's the next practice? We got to go to another practice. That was amazing. Because what happened through that, it wasn't only the rugby, it was being around people that said, hey, you don't need that baby powder and that sliding board. Hey, let me teach you how to do this so you can become more independent. Hey, let me see. It became a support group. And I always tell people, I could have 1 million medals or the most successful career in wheelchair rugby or whatever it would be. But that team and that group of people were more monumental in my life to be able to speak into my life saying, hey, let's make you a better person here. Let's make you a better disabled man. Let's teach you how to be a disabled man and be independent and be able to do things on your own. And that was more important than any medal. The rehabilitative process and instrument that wheelchair rugby was at that time for me, it was super, super important.
What was it like, or has it been like, representing your country?
It's still
okay. Actually, before that, share us the moment when you found out you would be representing your country.
Yeah, that's a good story. So I had in 2008 at the Beijing Paralympics were going on. Rugby team was playing. I was sitting at home. We were living in St. Paul, Minnesota at the time, and I'm eating my Cheetos. I'm sucking down a Coke. I'm doing my thing. But I remember watching these guys fly around, winning gold medal, playing Australia in Beijing for the United States, and I thought, I want to do that. that's my goal right there. That's my goal. And I kind of put the food down. I finished it. I finished the food, but the next day I put the food down and started setting out on those goals, setting small goals. I want to lose weight. I want to make a team. I want to make a tryout. I want to make the next team. I ended up becoming a Paralympian. And I gotten cut in 2009. I gotten cut in 2010. I had a tryout in 2010 only because someone retired, but I was there to take on the challenge. Ended up making that team.
Wow.
And in 2012, I was like, God, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. It was a phenomenal team. I remember it's a room called the Sinkton Room at Lakeshore Foundation in Birmingham, Alabama. It's a room with 4 walls and very gray and white and bland. And that's where we always named the team. And so I'm like, I wonder if they're going to name the team by like classification and position you play, or name the team by alphabetical order. My last name is Delagrave. So I'm going, okay, D. Okay. Chuck Aoki. All right. We knew he was going to make it. He's like the best player. All right. Then they go down, then Chad Cohn and Andy Cohn. And okay. If they don't name my name next, then I didn't make it. I like knowing from alphabetical order. I heard them say from Prairie du Chien, Wisconsin, Joe Delagrave. And I'm a crier, dude. Like I started crying. I'm just like, I mean, I was an emotional wreck. I was trying to keep it cool. You know, like when you're trying not to cry around your boys, you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep it cool. But then the tears start and you're trying to stop. But then, and the rest of the team got named and I just sobbed. I was so happy, so proud of myself, but also realized, wow, maybe God does have a purpose here. He knew about me wanting to be an athlete. I thought I was just going to be on some small college football team. He said, you're going to wear USA across your chest. 3 letters. USA across your chest.
Nice. What was your mother's response when she found out that you're going to be going to the Olympics?
I called April 1st.
Yeah.
You know, like April was crying when I asked her to marry me. That's me on the phone. I'm just crying. I'm crying. Woo, woo. She's like, did you make it or not? Shut up. Did you make it? I made it. And then I called my mom and she was happy and cried. And they got to go and watch me win a bronze medal in London.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so it was April.
Now talk to us about, you got to shed some light on that experience. That's beautiful. I need to hear some of that share, man.
Yeah. So when I think the most powerful moment, number one, was going into the gym in 2012. That it was the same gymnasium arena that LeBron and Kobe and all those guys played their basketball games in the Olympics. So Paralympics are right after the Olympics, so same place. So you're just, when we had first practice and it's, you know, a big 15,000 seat arena and just amazing. And you're looking at it. And then our first games against Great Britain, which is the home team, sold out. All these Brits with their crazy accent yelling at us and all that stuff. It was an amazing deal. And previously to that, probably the most special moment was marching. And you got on your whole opening ceremony outfit.
Yeah.
And you're walking into the Olympic Stadium. 80,000 people there. The Queen of England. And it was incredible. It was incredible. And an honor to wear the colors of the United States on my chest for my country.
Nice. Are you, and now and correct me if I'm wrong, but are you trying out again for this year's?
Yeah. So
how's that going?
It's going well. It's going well. We obviously had postponement from COVID, but we're training hard. We've got 120 days until our final camp before we leave to Tokyo. So
so you're on this year's team.
So I'm on the training squad for the team.
Okay.
The team is named in May for the 12 there's 16 on the training squad.
Right.
Team named in May for the 12 they're going to go. I'm one of the captains, and I feel like I have a pretty good shot, but you never know. So it's yeah. I plan to be there. I plan to be
We're
one of the
speaking it.
12.
They're
Yeah.
speaking it, and we are speaking as if.
Yes.
We're
Yes.
speaking it as if. What has it been like to share your journey with all these different organizations that have invited you to share? And how did that get started?
I thought I was going to be a speaker when I was 13 years old, randomly.
Right on.
For me, faith is huge. You hear me say that, and I felt like God was saying, you know, you're going to be a speaker someday. And I'm, no, probably not. Not going to do that. And then this accident happens, and now like I remember people saying, "Hey, you should speak. You know, you get a great attitude, and you should speak." And I'm like, I don't know what to speak on. Like I'm just some 20-year-old kid trying to figure it out in a wheelchair. And I fought it for a long time, but I've realized in the last couple of years, 2018 is when I first started full time, but I realized how much I enjoyed sharing my story. I'm not trying to be anyone's inspirational porn. I don't want anyone staring at me in a wheelchair going like, well, my life's way better than his. So that was really inspiring. No, I want to inspire people to inspire themselves. I want to inspire people by sharing my story. And hopefully they can say, you know what? I've had some circumstances that suck, but I'm going to make a choice to react in a positive way to those circumstances. We don't get to control the circumstances, but we do get to react to them. And how you react defines your character. How you react is going to ultimately define your success. And so that's what I just absolutely love about it. And I finally said, you know what? Yes, I'm going to speak and I'm going to share my story, and we're going to laugh and we're going to cry and we're going to have a good time. And hopefully at the end, we're going to be transformed because we have the power to choose to be a victor. We have the power to stop playing the blame game. It's lazy. It gets old. Let's stop playing the blame game and let's start being victors by choosing to respond in powerful ways to our circumstances. And so I just started speaking, and I'm going, this stage brings me more joy, or as much joy as playing rugby does. And I realized rugby was always my passion. Speaking is my purpose. Sharing my story is my purpose. And being an athlete was just aligning me and getting that beautiful cross session where you find your passion and purpose meeting. And if I can just, I don't care if it's to 3 people, I don't care if it's in front of 5,000. I want to share my story to spread hope and love and joy to as many people as I can.
Yeah, you're doing it, man. You're doing it. You're doing it. Can you recollect the first time you had a chance to share your story in a speaker capacity?
Yes, it was awful. It was
Oh, come
awful.
on.
So and it was very early on. It was probably when I was maybe a year out of the accident. I went to some youth group in Fenimore, Wisconsin. Shared my story. I got through it in about 10 minutes because I didn't know how to tell a story. I didn't know. I mean, it was just like, yeah, I broke my neck and God's good, and like we're just and then love you guys. It wasn't great. It wasn't great, and I realized that at doing one-offs here and there, but I also realized that you've got to come to terms with your story to be able to tell your story. Sometimes we want to tell a story and we haven't done the forgiving part. We want to tell a story and we haven't healed because we haven't grieved correctly. We want to tell a story that doesn't go well because we don't know the ending, or we don't know how to get through the emotions of it. And so I think it's really important to kind of move through those and realize why that happened. For me, like one of my best successes was one of my worst failures. 2016, I was left off the team. Didn't go to Rio. Was completely devastated. I'd been a captain for 3 years, completely devastated.
Wow.
But realized I needed that because I need some recalibration in my life. I was putting rugby before my family. I was putting rugby before my marriage. I was putting rugby before my kids, my relationship with my kids, my relationship with God, everything, because I thought goal was going to validate me as a man. Goal was going to validate me as a husband, as a father. And I think a lot of times we do this. We think, you know what? If I have this much money in my bank account, that's going to validate everything that I have in my life. No, it's not. And I realized at that point, and I truly appreciate that failure, because I got a choice to respond, and I chose to be a victor, and I chose to look at myself and go, you got to change some things. You got to lead with a servant heart. You got to be able to have a rock solid marriage that's on fire. You got 3 small kids there that you have the opportunity to speak into their lives at a very young age. And I didn't have that, and I'm not throwing that away. And so the last 4 or 5 years has just been a beautiful thing. We're just building this home. The relationships inside my 4 walls are more important than outside of my 4 walls. Foundation. And it's not built on sand, it's built on a rock. And sometimes the rock cracks, and you got to do some TLC. You got to dial up the HGTV relationship channel and do some work. And then as a leader on the team, going, I gotta speak into these people like people have spoken into me. I gotta serve them. I gotta know who they are before I ask them to do something without even knowing them as a person. And that failure was one of my biggest learning moments I've had in my personal and professional career. And I truly am grateful for that moment, because I'm a better man because of it. I ended up not having a captain role, not having a spot on the team, going to the last training camp at Rio, watching the team get their jerseys for Rio, and having to make a choice. Am I going to lead without the title? Am I going to serve without the joy of getting to go to another Paralympics? Am I going to work my butt off? And as much as it sucked, I did. So I thought, if I can do this without a title and without the accolades of going, then that's what character is all about. That's character.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. That is phenomenal, my man. Where do you get your discipline and character from?
I think honestly, it is from God, from my mom, but a really special person in my life, my hero, Dr. Vive, I've told you about him, is my grandpa.
Yes, please, let's dig down with your grandpa. This is a phenomenal story.
He was just a phenomenal man. And since he passed in 2006, but he was one of the first 13 Black commissioned officers in the Navy. Played college football at Wisconsin. But these men, they're called the Golden 13. There's a couple books out on them that you can see. I'm not sure if it's on a bookshelf or not, but is these 16 men ended up becoming 13 because they thought 4 of them at least failed, because at least 4 people out of 16 in the white side of the Navy failed to become officers. They thought, okay, well, they'll probably do that too. All 16 passed with the best scores ever in the history of the Navy. They made them retake the test 2 different times because they had the best score. They're like, these guys are cheating. There's no way. But my grandfather said, there's racial division. There's terrible things going on there, but I'm going to take this opportunity. And that's what he did, and made history, and then ended up living in Chicago. The rest of his life, became the first Black GM, general manager in the Chicago area. And he just had an absolute zest for life and character and strength, dignity, turn the other cheek type of mentality. and he just knew how to love people, and he still is my hero, and one of the best men that I knew.
Wow. How many men can say their grandfather was their hero? That is phenomenal. Yeah, when you told me about that a few days ago, I said, amazing, amazing. And my condolences on him passing away, because if he was still alive today, I could imagine some of the conversations both of you would be having.
I respected him so much. So it's a funny. I would go to his house, and his house had these stairs, like 10 stairs, and I get out of my chair and I climb up the steps to get into his house to just be with him. And he cooked April and I lunch one time. And my mom raised me that I eat everything on your plate. When you go to people's houses, eat everything on your plate. Grandpa Frank, and he had hobbled around. He was hobbling around with diabetes at that point, and he's cooking us up stuff. And he has on the record player and playing music from the 40s and 50s and just loving it. And I could see that he was having a blast. And he put some shrimp on my plate. And the only problem was I'm allergic to shrimp.
Oh.
And I just kind of looked at April, and I'm like, I just ate it anyway. I was like, I'm not going to disrespect my grandpa. There's no way. I'm just going to eat it anyway. And my lips started to swell up looking like the Nutty Professor or something like that. But I, didn't need an EpiPen or anything like that. But it was one of those things where, like, I didn't ever want to disrespect him or not honor him. I was like, I'm not going to tell him. Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah.
That's really, really great. Joe, wow, we're coming up to the end of our conversation, and there will be more, folks, because Joe has so many different areas that he could share with. This one, just sharing his story. We've got some other ones we'd like him to share about, but Joe, let me ask you, when you get out, whether it's digitally or face-to-face with an audience, how does that make you feel?
I used to look for someone that a smile, a tear, a hug, an affirmation. But when I get out in front of an audience virtually or in person, I know I'm doing my job. I know I'm doing my purpose. I'm a seed planter. And yeah, like, it's fun to get DMs or text or someone coming up and saying, hey, that really changed my life. But I know that if I just obey the calling to talk to as many people as I can while I'm here on this earth and share my story, I'm doing my job, and it brings me joy.
I won't get too deep into it because we're going to do another conversation. What does being a father mean to you?
It is the greatest job in the world. I absolutely adore my kids, and I don't ever get it. I get it wrong a lot. But it's something that I desired from my dad growing up that I didn't have because of his choices that he made, ending up in prison, in and out of prison. And I had a stepdad that was there and put food on the table for us. But that connection to my biological father wasn't there until later on, which is a whole other story. But I just cherish being a father, cherish getting to teach my kids lessons, to teach them about forgiveness, to teach them to love others and be kind even when people aren't kind to you, to teach to love that they can love and break down boundaries and break down barriers and break down borders by just simply loving people. They are, it's the best job in the world and the most important job in the world for me.
You know, you're coming back for part 2 because we're going to talk about you and your dad. But we're gonna you nice teaser for the next conversation. How's it feel to be blessed to be with the same lady by your side for so many years, who was first your girlfriend, who you almost didn't get back, and then when I get him, how special has that been for your journey?
It's huge. It's huge. April it is amazing growing with her through this life and experiencing life with her. And I think at times, men that are listening, at times we forget to just honor our wives and understand the beauty that is inside them, and just date your wife. Like every time that we get to go on a date or experience something or a simple walk and talk, it's such a beautiful thing. And you realize, wow, like what a beautiful gift. And she certainly has been that for me, even though that, you know, she lets me have it sometimes.
Well, before we close out, what is the message you have from your heart to the men out there?
Yeah, I really want the men to do an inventory on where they're at. Are they taking control of their lives? Are they making a choice to be a victor? Or are they saying, you know what, I'm at this area because of this person or that person or this circumstance or that circumstance, or my physical well-being, or my you know, my mental health isn't there and I haven't been getting any mental wellness, and or I'm a certain weight because well, that's just being a dad, or the blame game is just so easy to snowball in. And like, you've got a choice, and that choice might look small at the moment. My choice was to simply just try to get dressed and get in a wheelchair.
Mm.
And then it led to becoming a Paralympian, and it led to being able to speak at some amazing places, and it led to a beautiful family that I adore. Your choice is to get back up, choose to be a victor, and find your opportunities.
Drop the mic. Done. Stick with a fork. I'm done on that. Man, Joe, thank you so much for sharing. For those who are watching live or on the replay, just gonna show his website to everybody. If you're listening, you got to go to his website anyways. But there's his website, folks. And I got to ask, the quote that you have here: we all have a choice to not let our circumstances define who we are. It is a powerful thing when we realize that we have an opportunity in any obstacle that we face. When did you come up with that?
I realized in hindsight, looking back at my life, I'm 19 years old and I've got all these questions swirling around in my head of who I was going to be and where my purpose was and whatever it was. And I could look at that chair as an obstacle, or look at that chair as going, you know what, that's an opportunity. That's not an obstacle. That's the miracle. That's the vehicle to go and live a life that I couldn't even dream up. If I go back at 19 and be like, hey, you're going to play USA wheelchair rugby and you're going to be able to speak and you're going to have 3 kids and April's going to be, I'd be like, whatever this guy's taking, like, he is high on love. There's no way. There's no way. But it starts with that choice. And I realized that the disability doesn't have to define me. It's the opportunity within the disability that can be an amazing ride.
One of the many things, well, I'll save it to the last. And for those who are watching again live on the replay, all the different organizations, U.S. Army, again, Organic Valley, New York Red Bulls, First Free Church, all these different organizations that Joe has shared with and people that he's shared with. But you know what I like the best about this website for anyone who's watching, or if you're listening? Him and his wife. You can contact either one. They're in it together. Together. It's not contact Joe. Joe's on the bottom left and April's on the bottom right. That was the thing that stuck out to me. Yeah, all the organizations, great, fantastic. But this is a togetherness journey. not an individual journey. I'll just, I think there's some of the stuff there again. I'm just quickly going through the website for people who can watch live on the replay, keynote stuff. What a good looking guy. Love that picture. Yeah. Absolutely all over that. That is just a beautiful picture. 12 goals, what? You don't play, brother. Your neck must be permanently bent with all these medals. 12 goals, 4 silvers, 2 bronze. Jeez. Folks, do get a chance to go to the website. And Joe is a true servant. So even if you don't want him as a speaker, if you just want some encouragement, you need some light, you need some clarity. I think most people who are listening or watching this have probably not even been through 100th of what Joe has been through. And look where Joe is at. I'm not saying, I'm just saying. This is where you can catch him on Instagram. This is where you can catch him on Twitter. His email address, Joe Delagrave, his name, JoeDelagrave @gmail.com. Would make my heart full if someone reached out to this gentleman and said, Joe, I need help. Because Joe and I realize that the more people we help, the more people that need help.
Amen. Yeah.
Joe, want to bless you and your family for all you have done, all you are doing, and all you will be doing going forward. Thank you for taking time out of your positive, productive schedule to share with us today. Looking forward to breaking down the barriers. I know if I'll ever get a try with you, though I do have rugby background myself too. I should have worn my high school, my old high school. We had a high school rugby reunion this year. And actually, one of the guys actually called me this afternoon. So next time you come on, I'm going to wear my high school reunion rugby shirt.
Perfect.
You got to wear that. I just thought about it. I should have worn my high school. I'm not proper. But Joe, thank you so much. Looking forward to having you share again, my brother, and keep the faith.
Thank you, Dr. Vibe. Appreciate it.
My honor, my pleasure. All right, it's Dr. Vibe here, host and producer of the award-winning Dr. Vibe show, the home of epic conversations, and I'm the host of Epic Conversations. 2020 Best Podcast News Award, 2018 Best Innovation Award given out by the Canadian Ethnic Media Association. Also, host of the only online show for dads and fathers in the world that is sponsored by Dove Men Care. It's also co-sponsored by Dad Central Canada's National Fatherhood Organization. And also, I keep on saying this once a month, I am, not once a month, I am the board chair for the Global Food and Drink Initiative. And the executive director is going to hit me on my head digitally if I don't get that right once in a while. But then that organization is a multimedia nonprofit that showcases Blacks in the diaspora that are doing great stuff in food, wine, and travel. I'd like to thank everyone who watched us live or on the replay or watched it replay on the replay video-wise. Also listen to it live on the replay. As always, I'd like to close out with this. Live your life as a dream. If you can dream it, you can make it. Sometimes you have to get smaller to get stronger. Block assumptions that aim bigger, aim better, aim higher, aim wider. And also 2 other things I add: love, faith, and respect. And remember to give yourselves grace. God bless. Peace be well. Keep the faith and walk good, everybody. Good night.